To routine or not to routine? That is the question. We often feel like routine is a cage, a boring schedule that kills our spontaneity and creativity. But what if the opposite was true? What if routine was the very thing that unlocked your deepest wells of energy, creative power, and focus? What if it's the ultimate act of self-care? Today I'm going to share with you the two versions of my life. The chaotic exhausted me and the focused energized me. All separated by one thing: routine. Especially around sleeping patterns. When I'm in a period of juggling my freelancing creativity, like writing, woodworking, photography, videography, it's a lot harder to make a start because every day I have to invent my structure. Without that routine, I can be incredibly lethargic and unfocused. I feel this restless energy consuming me because I itch to create and to do, but I have no direction or focus, so nothing gets done. So that creative energy that I feel just turns inward and then it becomes completely unproductive anxiety. And this is a good moment for me to compare it with how my life looks like with routine, because I just came from about 3 months of a theater production in which most weekdays we had to show up 9 to 5 for rehearsals. And I haven't done a 9 to 5 in years. So while it was extremely difficult to fall into that routine, once it clicked, I felt really stable and focused and peaceful. Because every weekday from 9 to 5, I knew where I had to be and what I had to do. I didn't need to spend my mornings thinking, what am I going to create today? Am I going to go somewhere to go write? Or am I going to go take out my camera? Am I going to work on my website? Like, I woke up and I knew where I had to be. Theater days. And I guess all this structure just kind of allowed my brain to focus all its energy on showing up to do the job rather than worrying about planning what job I'm going to do. But most of all, what was really beneficial about this routine was that it forced me to have a regular sleeping pattern. When my days are up in the air, I can go to bed at midnight one day, 11 another, 2 a.m. another day, and so there's no regularity in my sleeping patterns. But because I had to be at theater at a certain time each day, I started automatically waking up the exact same time every day and kind of falling asleep at a certain time because I was just too exhausted to push my body past midnight. And I just had this nice ritual in the morning where I'd have a full hour to myself to enjoy a nice decaf latte and kind of just do some soft studying or do my workout routine at home and just ease into the day before going to this intensive training at the theater. And honestly, it was freeing, just not having to stress about all those choices of juggling all my different endeavors like I would normally do. Because it takes so much energy for your brain to make a choice, even just one single choice. So when you're having to make all these massive choices first thing in the morning of how you're gonna fill in the rest of your day, then all of your energy that you could have used on your projects is being used for trying to plan how you want to use that energy. Although after those 3 months, I was also itching to get back to my other endeavors, and I was really looking forward to having the time available to dive back into that. And then with this newfound appreciation for routine, I figured, how am I going to implement that kind of focused determination into what I normally do? And is it possible? But first, let's take a closer look at the importance of routine for your sleep patterns. The key here is your circadian rhythm. This is your body's internal 24-hour clock. A consistent routine tells your body exactly when to be on and when to be off. When you stick to a schedule, your body knows when to release melatonin, making you sleep deeper and more restorative. This predictability is gold for a highly sensitive person. It removes a massive layer of daily stress, which can also reduce the chronic fatigue that a lot of us HSPs struggle from. Quick wardrobe change because of stinging insects. There's a lot of added benefits when you have a regular sleeping pattern. When your life lacks a certain kind of stability, especially in your sleeping patterns, you can have very intense sugar cravings. Scientific studies show that poor sleep messes with your hormonal balance, like the hormones that tell you when you're hungry or full. Getting your routine right stabilizes your metabolism and stops that crash and crave cycle. Obviously, anything that stabilizes you will offer you a more balanced emotional diet as well. If you're less stressed, overwhelmed, or reactive, then you can just be more present and calm for the people around you and for yourself. Bottom line, routine does not make you less free. It makes you more balanced, calmer. So what does my evening routine look like on a good day? Well, I try to have a calming tea, like a chamomile tea, about an hour before going to bed. I also dim the lights at least an hour before going to bed. And in an ideal world, I would also put my phone away around that time, or my tablet or whatever, but I haven't gotten around to that yet, because even when I decide not to watch a show but do some reading before bed, I'm reading from my phone, so I'm still exposed to screen. But I do have it on nighttime, so the lighting is yellow and softer. At best, I put on a meditation track and then I'm asleep within roughly 20 minutes. And my favorite thing is not having to wake up with an alarm. Nothing makes me more cranky than waking up before my body's ready to wake up to some harsh sound that interrupts my sleeping process. So if I have something early planned, then I try a couple of days ahead to start sleeping earlier, so I naturally will wake up earlier. When I was in the theater rehearsal process, those weeks I was waking up at 7, even though I didn't have to be at theater until 9, but my body just kind of like decided 7 is our time, and every day at 7 I was up and no alarm was necessary. So routine definitely has its benefits. Now that I'm out of theater and I'm back to my old schedule, I'm having a hard time focusing again. I've let my sleep patterns go completely awry, and every day I wake up without a single clue what I'm gonna do that day. So my whole system has been jolted because I don't no longer have that daily routine, and my body's just kind of like, what the hell are we gonna do with our time now? So many things I want to do and so eager to get back to them. But with all that lethargic, unfocused energy, it's just, I'm not really getting anywhere. So the first thing I'm gonna start with is getting back to a regular sleeping pattern. Now, I'm not crazy about routine because I like the freedom to just do whatever the day calls for. But if that means that I'm not getting enough things done, then the price is too high for me. So I'm gonna work on getting at least a form of routine into my life, and yeah, hopefully see some improvement in my productivity, because I really have a lot of projects that I'm eager to get to, and one of the things being my YouTube channel. So I'm really glad to be here with my camera today making this video for you guys. Please, if you have a tip on how to be more productive with routine as an HSP, do share it in the comments, not just for my sake, but the whole community. We can all benefit from your experience. I really appreciate your time, and I'll see you in the next one. Ciao.